Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Jeff and Alan Show. Wait, what? What is that sound? What's going on here?
Will you fight? No! We will run! And we will live.
Shame on you. This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst.
And I guarantee a week won't go by in your life you won't regret walking out, letting them get the best of you.
Well, I'm not going home.
We've got too far!
And I'm gonna stay right here and fight for this lost cause.
A day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
You're gonna work harder than you ever worked before.
But that's fine. We'll just get tougher with it.
If a person grits his teeth and shows real determination,
failure is not an option.
That's how winning is done.
Believe me when I say
We can break this army here.
And win just one for the Gipper.
But I say to you, what every warrior has known since the beginning of time.
You've got to get mad.
I mean plumb mad dog mean.
If you would be free men, then you must
Fight to fulfill that promise. Let us
cut out their living guts.
1 inch at a time.
And they will know what we can do!
Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions.
You're like a big bear, man.
This is your time.
Seize the day.
Never surrender.
victory or death.
That's the Chicago.
Who's with me?
Clap! Clap! Don't let Team die! Clap!
All right.
Let's fly.
And gentlemen in England, now abed, shall
No, my name is the Lord. When I tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take
Our Independence Day.
Now, back to your regular programming. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Jeff and Alan Show on the Junior Factor Nation Radio Network. My name's Jeff Hamill, and I'm broadcasting from the snowed-in bunker in southern central Pennsylvania, and with me is...
Alan Klein, broadcasting from the overpass overlooking the last young conservative civilization in America. Welcome to episode 1. The hype is real.
And we're going to explain that in a bit. If you'd like to contact us at any time during the show, you can, of course, talk to us on the Spreaker chat box. You can also contact me on Twitter at the JHP, Alan at Pizzaman721, and, of course, on the Facebook page for the Junior Factor Nation. We'll be talking about that, or we'll be talking on there the entire time during the show. So you can contact us anytime during the show. Just, just make the effort, and we'll talk to you. So, Alan, the hype is real. That means the college hype is real. We've been hearing about liberal professors forever, and it's real. That is how it works. That is how it's going on. At least it is for me, and we're about to talk about that in a second, but I forgot we should talk about what made us go into politics, or what made us interested in joining the Junior Factor Nation. Now, me and Alan, we were both on Jason's show last night on Factor Talk Radio. You can go ahead and check that out at the Junior Factor Nation website. And we talked about it briefly there, but we're going to talk about it in a little bit more detail. Alan, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go. Why not?
All right, so this is why we're getting involved, what was our upbringing and stuff like that. So, Alan, go ahead.
For me, I just want to learn about myself. I feel freedom, liberty, two of the most important things you can ever have. And when you lose it, you just might not ever get it. We need to learn how to keep it and how to not ever lose it. We need to learn what we can do, what we could do, and what we better never do. It's important to learn all those things. And while I put on my Facebook bio, I don't want to label myself, I feel like there's too many labels. We're all people. Our opinions can change, but we need to stand firm in our stances in everything. We need to know why we think what we do, how we came about that, and why. We need to know exactly why we believe what we believe. Why and how we came to that conclusion. All these things are important. And we are all along for this good old ride. Jeff, what about you?
For me personally, it really started when I was a child. My parents listened to talk radio all the time. They listened to Sean Hannity. At the time, Michael Savage, later on Mark Levin, some other conservative talk show hosts. And over the summer, they had these things called Freedom Concerts. And Freedom Concerts were things that Sean Hannity would do, and he'd have a whole bunch of other conservative and some liberal commentators and like news anchors and everything. And they would go to different roller coaster parks. Why did I say that? Why did I say amusement parks? Amusement parks. And they would talk about conservatism and meet fans and do shows there live, and it was awesome. And then when I was in middle school, I'd ask my dad a lot of questions like, hey, what does this mean? What does that mean? And I started really listening to talk radio. And then I thought, what do I personally believe? What do I believe is the truth about different things in our everyday lives? What's everything mean? And to me, I believe in personal responsibility and people knowing that it's not the government that helps us, it's ourselves that help us. And the only thing that the government really can do is hinder us. And over the past couple of years in high school and now in college, I see a lot of young people not understanding anything about our governmental system, the Constitution, and anything with modern day politics. And so I wanted to do a show here on the Junior Factor Nation and show people, hey, this is what it's about. It's not about, conservatives not wanting people to have their freedom, because we want freedom, but we also have to realize that there's religion in the world, and religion shapes the way that we view things. And because of that, and things we'll talk about later on in the show, I want to educate people. I want to say it's possible to make it on our own. It's possible that the government doesn't need to be huge to tolerate. Shucks, I'm thinking. What's the word, Alan? I'm messing up. Totalitarian. That's it.
Yeah.
A huge totalitarian nation. We don't need any of that. We just need personal responsibility and liberty. And until we figure that out, it's going to take a huge plummet into gimme times 100, which right now I believe we're at a gimme generation. And I hope that this show, along with all the other shows here on the Junior Factor Nation and all the other great networks, I hope one day we educate the youth on what's important. Not, does he like me? Does she like me? Did you hear what they said about me the other day? Different, pitter-patter, little tiny things that don't really matter. I want to get to the things that actually matter. And through my life, I've come to the conclusion that I am a conservative, but with a little bit of a different twist. And I hope through this show I explain that. But that is our background, and that is what we believe in. And we're going to talk a little bit about what others in our schools believe in, because me and Alan both go to universities. Well, he's going to a community college, and then are you transferring to Millersville?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to transfer from a community college, save a lot of money, do a smart thing, and then he's going to go to a state college called Millersville. And then I am not I'm not the smart one. I'm not saving any money, and I'm going to...
Yeah, genius.
Yeah, I'm going to Penn State, Pennsylvania State University. Go ahead, say all the Sandusky jokes you want. It's over. It's 2 years ago, people. But, Alan, what are you majoring in?
Well, I recently just changed my major to communications.
Woo! And I myself am a communications major. I'm a telecommunications major, so if I don't go on radio, which is my dream, I want to work for a radio station out in Ohio called Radio U. And if that doesn't work out, then I want to go on TV. And I want to work for a local news station or maybe a big news station and edit up videos. Like if you ever watch the nightly news, have you ever watched and it's like cutting up different clips together for this is getting off topic, but I want to do that.
I would call it either a compilation or a mashup.
Right. I want to do stuff like that.
Jeff, you know what? If you go over there, you'll be surrounded by Ohio State fans.
If I will be,
you'll be that one guy.
I will be, but that's neither here nor there. But since we both go to college or university now, we have heard some pretty crazy stuff. And Alan, what is the story about your English professor? I'm super interested in this professor because of what he told you could not do. And ladies and gentlemen, please listen up. This stuff is happening in real life. Alan, please explain your story.
Well, basically, the professor proceeded on this particular day to hand back each of our interpretive analysis essays. It was 3 to 4 pages. Your basic 100 level English 101 assignment. And when I got my paper back, there was a word I've never ever seen in my life on there. He wrote the word proselytizing. I asked him how to pronounce the word. He told me. He looked at me like I was a real simpleton, real dummy. So I asked him what it meant, and he even looked at me like I was even stupider. Like, how dare you ask me what that word means? So he proceeds to say that the word means that I was preaching. Now, what I was preaching about was, I wasn't preaching at all. I was using a biblical quote to support my thesis and my other main ideas and supporting ideas about a character in the book that the professor handpicked for us to write our interpretive analysis essay for 3 to 4 pages.
Now, this story was a fiction story, right?
Yeah, it was called Desert Solitaire by Edward Abbey.
What was it about? What is the gist of it?
Basically, a guy is this guy. He loves the environment and the animals. He would rather be with animals and the environment.
Save
what the professor calls the natural world. Keep in mind, this is the same guy that calls God, the creator of the universe, a deity, which I've never heard God be called a deity before.
So he's a greenist, really.
Yeah, this character is a giant greenist, and he would rather be in the environment and the so-called natural world and the animals and all that stuff than be with people. And I was trying to portray the message in my essay that it was contradictory of the main character in this book to not have any religious ideology whatsoever, yet he made references to Jesus throughout the book many, many times. And I provided biblical quotes throughout my paper for my interpretive analysis.
Now, what exactly were you using it for? Were you citing like Genesis or what?
Well, I remember there was a Peter, there was a John, Psalms, and I think Revelations might have been there. I can't quote myself because I don't have my paper right in front of me. Just off the top of my head, I know Peter and John were in there.
So you were just so you were talking about different things that I'm trying to process exactly. So this guy was a Green Partyist, if you want to say that, but he didn't believe in God, and you were trying to disprove the fact that he can be greenist and rather be with nature and use Jesus as an example in his book, but not believe in God as a deity.
No. It was the professor that calls God a deity, not the the main character. The
but you couldn't use your Bible. You couldn't use a Bible for it.
Yeah, he pretty much, the professor took off a full letter grade for using a biblical quote.
Now,
for a sufficient argument.
I wonder what would happen. I wonder what would happen if you would have used the Quran.
Oh, he'd get shot out for discrimination, but you can't say nothing.
As a Christian,
one of us. Yeah. Exactly.
You can't say anything about being a Christian, but heck breaks loose if you even mention the Torah even. I've seen people bend over backwards to bash Christianity, but as soon as you bring the Torah into it, it's like, can't even touch that. But even more so, if you even bring up anything Islamic, no, don't want to touch that.
Yeah, yep. There's another teacher at that same school who bashes the Bible openly and preaches the Muslim, Islamic fiction works.
The Quran?
The Quran's way of thinking, but in a fictional novel.
Okay.
And expects the students to fully understand it and write papers about it. Yet, they won't let you do about the Bible. Not at all. Do you write anything, you lose a whole letter grade.
That's ridiculous.
And when you question the professor about it, he says that you were not allowed to do it, yet he never tells you, just bang, we're going to get you. We're going to get you.
We're running out of time real quick in this first segment, but I'm going to quickly tell you about my first week and my art history professor. So first and foremost, you can listen back to Jason's episode. It was last night. It was on January 20th of 2014, and I talked to him about my 10th grade year and my experience there. But there's one other thing this semester that I've noticed, and my art history professor doesn't like Christianity, but she likes to disprove it, or at least try to disprove it. She says she's disproving it, but to me it's like, no, you idiot, simpleton, I don't know, whatever insulting words I can't use, but then yet they can use on us, right, Alan?
Yeah.
But they can use it on us. So we were talking about writing and how writing came to be in the modern world and how it was a Sumerian, I believe.
Yeah, the Sumerians used cuneiform.
Right. They used their form of writing, and they wrote a story called the Epic of Gilgamesh. And Gilgamesh was a king during the time of the writing, so he wrote down all of these stories. And she said, tell me if this story sounds familiar. And Alan, you know the story, so there's a giant flood in the world. One person knows, and he has to build a giant boat. And he has to have animals by two go into the boat, and they will be notified when they can go back on land by a dove. Alan, what story is that?
That would be the Ark.
That would be Noah and the Ark. And she said the Epic of Gilgamesh was written before Noah's Ark. And to me, that makes perfect sense. Let's think about it. The Syrians, they had the writing style first. No duh, they're going to write a story, give it to the Hebrews, and then the Hebrews will write the story down that they've been hearing for generation to generation. Does that not make sense?
In the most literal sense, if you take it in the most literal context in the world, that makes perfect sense.
Right. And she's trying to say, no, see, what happened was after the Hebrews read the story, then they made up their own story and wrote it down. Lady, seriously, is that how it happened?
Yeah, no. My foot is orange.
Right, and then we were talking about, or she said, in this class, everyone has a personal circle if you have a faith that you believe in. But when you're in this class, you cannot be in that personal bubble because we have to go off of facts. And I was sitting there listening. I was like, lady, this class, half of it's about perception. Half of this class is, what do you think the cavemen were drawing? a stick figure with a bird head for no reason.
I think it looks like an ice cream cone with chocolate sprinkles on it.
Yeah, and she was like, no, this is what they meant. They meant this. Okay, they could have meant that birds are wise, therefore it was a wise man, but really he could have just drawn a freaking bird on his head because he thought he was a bird guy, or maybe it was his ex-girlfriend. He was like, he looks like a bird. I don't know.
It sounds like this lady needs to pop out of her own little bubble.
That's what I'm saying.
And stop contradicting herself and try and make it sound like she's better than everyone else. Get out of her little bubble and come into our bubbles.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't like it. I don't like her class, but I have to survive. I'm not going to drop the class. So for all of you Christians out there, please pray for me. As this class is going to be very difficult for me to pass. But that is all the time we have for this first segment. We will be right back, but we're going to get ready for the second break. Second segment, we're going to take a break, and we will see you in a bit.
See you later. Jeff, did you see the Seattle Niners game Sunday night?
I personally did not. I was probably sleeping.
Well, check out this post-game interview. It's like straight out of wrestling.
Huh. I was just going to say we're going to tweet out the audio clip that we're talking about right now, so you can go ahead and check our Twitters at the JHP and at PizzaMan721, and that's where you see it. But Alan, what's going on? What is this segment about?
Well, check this out. Right at the end of the game, Colin Kaepernick goes for a game-winning drive. Down by less than a touchdown to Seattle.
So was Seattle losing?
No, the Niners were losing.
Okay.
The Seattle was up with less than a minute to go in the game. Colin Kaepernick, quarterback of the Niners, goes and chucks the ball to the front of the end zone in the corner. Two Seattle guys were there. And you got Michael Crabtree, receiver for San Francisco. Crabtree doesn't get to the ball. You got Richard Sherman, another quarterback, defensive back. Both tip the ball away. And Richard Sherman tips it, and the other guy gets it. Well, in post-game interview, as that was the last drive, Seattle, after the interception, the quarterback, Russell Wilson, takes a knee, and Seattle goes on to the Super Bowl to face Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning. In the post-game interview, on the sideline reporter, Aaron Andrews, takes a hold of Richard Sherman, takes him aside, and asks him to take her through the last play of the game. And he says, quote, "Well, I'm the best corner of the game. When you try with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. Don't you ever talk about me." So Aaron Andrews says, "Who's talking about you?" Richard Sherman says, "Crabtree." Michael Crabtree. "Don't you open your mouth about the best, or I'm going to shut it up real quick."
No.
LOB, which stands for the Legion of Boom, which is the defense, and the 12th man, which refers to 11 players on the field, and then 12th man being the super earthquake-inducing fan base of the Seattle Broncos, or the Seattle Seahawks.
Right. What was Crabtree talking crap to him before the game? Why exactly did he go after Crabtree?
Well, it was before the game, during the game, in the trenches of the game, on the sidelines, because Seattle and San Francisco are both in the NFC West.
Right.
Of the NFL. Biggest rival in football. Biggest rivalry on the west coast of the country, at least in the NFC. And this is their third game they play each other all year. 2 times in the regular season, here for the NFC Championship game, winner goes to the Super Bowl. And it's just all out. 2 young guys in the league. Richard Sherman hasn't even been in the league 5 years. Neither has Michael Crabtree. And they just both really wanted the game. They both really wanted it. And Richard Sherman goes on and says Crabtree was mediocre at best, not a top 20 receiver, and wouldn't get taken in a fantasy draft if they had a big one.
Ouch.
And Crabtree fired back at Richard Sherman via social media and said, "Don't lie, NFL Network and ESPN. Pull the tape of that game and show me where this guy is the best. Hashtag fake, hashtag fake, hashtag fake."
Oh, he's calling him out on social networking now. Cool.
So...
Wait, do you know what this reminds me of?
What's it remind you?
The Housewives of anything. Housewives of Atlanta. Calling each other, arguing. It also reminds me of the Kardashians. I thought this is the NFL.
It reminds me of wrestling. I think they're trying to be the next tag team.
Yeah, and it would be
tag team champs.
It would be one thing if it was like, what's his name? Sherman calling out, Manning. That would be one thing because you're getting pumped up for the game. But no, this is after the game. It's like two high school children or even elementary school children fighting over something really stupid. And Alan, should he have said what he did? Should there be repercussions by the NFL? What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think there should be any repercussions whatsoever. He entertained me. He entertained all my friends. And he did not even do it in a rude or impolite manner.
I don't agree
when
with
it
that.
comes to the post-game interview, because he didn't have any obscenities, no profanity.
True.
And he wasn't disrespectful to Aaron Andrews or the broadcast team. He was just saying it man to man. And most people that have played sports in their lives and have watched sports in their lives know that most likely in the game, a lot more obscenities are thrown around than they should ever be in their life.
Right. Now, you don't think there should be any repercussions by the NFL. You just think it's mano a mano. But
oh yeah, he jabbed at him. He jabbed at him.
I guess.
Like it's not like he was physically harming the guy. He was just entertaining the fans. A lot of people on Twitter and a lot of cable broadcasting stations are saying that fans are tired of the standard cookie cutter interviews.
That's true.
They want something different. They want something new. This was like a promo on Monday Night Raw.
Now,
this was entertaining.
Do you think the NFL could have gone up to Crabtree and told him to talk smack for that exact reason? Do you think it's a money-making thing, or do you think it's actually two guys arguing?
Oh, no, I think this is real.
Because I think it would be genius if the NFL would have went up to one of the guys and be like, hey, listen to me. You should definitely go up on your Twitter, tweet up a few lines, and bam. It's just going to start a huge thing. Do you know what would happen if politics did that? Oh, wait. We do. It's called an election.
Yeah.
Except it's not social media. It's actual interviews. But I think it would be hilarious if the next presidential campaigners just go up against each other and they're like tweeting at each other, yo, dude, I heard he said that he's better than me. Huh, LOL, hashtag fake. But is it professional?
In that instance, I don't think that's professional, but I still find it hilarious.
But is it even professional in the NFL? I don't think so. I don't think it's any professionalism. I don't think that he should have done that. I think if they really had a problem, they should have actually talked to each other, not, do the high school subtweet thing. Because I see subtweets all the time on Twitter, and I'm like, seriously, you can't just call the person and be like, hey, what's up? What are you mad about? And I definitely think it's entertaining. I just think it's childish.
Well, yeah, they could say the same thing about Terrell Owens. He was childish when he was on the sidelines and on the field for the Niners, for the Eagles, for Dallas, for any team. He was childish.
True.
He was super childish. He ran Donovan McNabb insane when he was in Philly. He ran Carson Palmer insane when he was in Cincinnati. But Richard Sherman wasn't trying to hurt anyone.
True.
And plus, Aaron Andrews, the reporter, she caught the guy in the heat of the moment.
I was just about to say that.
The heat of the moment, heat of the rage. And even on top of this guy has a master's in communications from the University of Stanford.
Wow.
I don't know 5 people that could get into Stanford, let alone graduate with a master's degree. This man is educated. This guy does charity work with children. This is not a mean guy. Different people on Twitter were trying to call him a thug and racial innuendos. If they think that is racist, they got a problem.
I think that's wrong.
I can't figure how that could ever be taken in a racist way. That guy's a man just like we are. Right. There's no possible way anything he'd said or did in that interview could ever be taken racist. If they think that's racist, they need to get their head examined.
Well, I know exactly who takes everything racist. Middle-aged white Democrats. Because I think it was for the Trayvon Martin Zimmerman case, someone was suing Zimmerman for being racist, and it was a middle-aged white guy. And it's like,
really?
Why are you saying he's like offending someone of your color when you're his? Well, according to the media, he's your color because really he's Latino, and he was saying he's a white Latino, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I think it was a genius move if it was from the NFL. I think it was a childish move if it was just between them. But it's whatever.
Or how about this? Maybe he wanted him to. Maybe they wanted someone to. He wanted someone to talk about him too, and not just Peyton. Because they definitely have a storyline with the AFC side, with Peyton Manning trying to be the first starting quarterback, to get 2 Super Bowls, starting for 2 different teams. But there wasn't much of a storyline on the NFC side. He just created a storyline. He's got all of us talking. He got us talking right now.
Oh yeah.
If he wasn't provoked by the NFL, and he did this on purpose, and he knew what he was doing, and it wasn't just out of the heat of the moment, he definitely knew what he was doing. He's doing a great job at it. This man is a genius if this is true. If what you're saying is transpiring right now as we speak, and they're trying to get us talking like we're doing right now, this man is a genius.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody that can take some arguments and just blow it up on TV and make a lot of money from it is definitely a genius. Now, we do have a second story for sports, and I really want to get into this because it's about baseball, and I love baseball. And it's also about Reddit and people's opinions. So, Alan, break it down. What happened this year in the MLB Baseball Hall of Fame voting?
Well, baseball writer Dan Le Batard revealed that his Hall of Fame vote was turned over to the users of Deadspin.com. And the reason he did this was, he says, and I quote, "I feel like my vote has gotten pretty worthless in the avalanche of Cincinnati that has swallowed it. I have no earthly idea if Jeff Bagwell or Frank Thomas did or did not use steroids. I think I understand why the steroid guys in this competition-holic culture."
Now, question. So, Jeff and Frank, are they the 2 guys that they had to vote for to go into the Hall of Fame?
No, there was a number exceeding over 20.
Okay.
Eligible players. Jeff Bagwell, formerly of the Houston Astros, and Frank Thomas, a.k.a. the Big Hurt, formerly of the Chicago White Sox, were 2 of the bigger names, along with Greg Maddux, formerly of the Atlanta Braves, Tom Glavine, formerly of the Atlanta Braves, Sammy Sosa, formerly of the Chicago Cubs, Greg Maddux, Mark McGwire, formerly of the St. Louis Cardinals.
So there's a bunch of guys.
I could keep on going. Craig Biggio, Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, Roger
Clemens. Just keep going. So they had a whole bunch of people, but why was Jeff Bagwell and Frank Thomas? Why is he talking about them? And was he trying to vote for either of them? Why did he bring them up?
Well, he just used them as 2 guys he picked out of the hat that were on the ballot. But, for example, Frank Thomas did, in fact, along with 2 of the pitchers that were on the ballot, Frank Thomas did make it in this year, but Jeff Bagwell did not. Personally, I think they should both be in the Hall of Fame as well as Mr. Sosa.
Right. So,
but he
gave his vote over to the public.
Yes, because he feels that
His vote doesn't matter anymore.
Worthless.
Right.
He feels like it's worthless. So he put it over to Deadspin.com. He set up a poll, and the top, however many categories or players that got voted in by the users of Deadspin.com, he voted in. And as a result of this, the Baseball Hall of Fame and the committee, whatever the committee is that oversees all the voting and the columnist and everyone that's involved, took away his media pass and his credentials to attend baseball games as a privileged media guy for the next year, and he lost his privilege to vote in the Baseball Hall of Fame for life.
Wow.
I think this is stupid.
And you think it's stupid? I have to agree.
It's his vote. If he wants to let little Jimmy, the 2-year-old, just circle numbers,
he should be able to do that.
He should be able to do that. It's his vote.
But it is a private institution, and they can say whatever they want too.
True, but if they want to have any authenticity and integrity and make it not look like it is rigged, they should let him do his vote however he pleases.
True. I have to agree with that. But we are running low on time. So if you guys want to tell us your opinion, tell us on our Twitters or on the Junior Factor Nation Facebook page, so you can tell us there. Do you think that he should have been able to give it to Deadspin or Reddit or Facebook, or should he have just said whoever he wanted to? Because the committee did say that he was the one who was supposed to vote. Me and Alan, we think it should have been whatever you want. I think conservatively it should have been whatever he wants. I'm not sure. Tell us what you think.
Let us vote if you don't want him to vote next time. I'll do it.
Yeah. Have the multimedia site say this is who we think we should win. But that is all for this segment. We will catch you guys in a bit. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a quick time out, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. My name's Jeff Hamill. I'm with Alan Kling. This is the Jeff and Alan Show on the Junior Factor Nation Radio Network. Alan, one of the things that a lot of conservatives believe is pro-life, correct?
Yes.
And we also believe in the right of execution, at least for the most of us, correct?
Right again.
So you believe in pro-life and execution?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I do too, but I listen to Tavern Talk Radio, another show here on the Nation, or on the network, and Mike Garkar was actually making a case that I could back up with a or to be anti-execution. Now, in one of the amendments, it's slipping my mind, it talks about how we can't have what am I thinking of, Alan? Cruel and unusual punishment.
Cruel and unusual punishment.
Right. So we can't have cruel and unusual. So why do we allow execution? Is it cruel? Is it not? I think. Well, okay. I thought that if you killed someone, you should have to die. An eye for an eye kind of way of thinking.
Hammurabi's law.
Right. An eye for eye type of Hammurabi's law way of looking at it. But then I'm thinking, well, should it be that way, or should it be for more serious, like super serious crimes? Like killing multiple people, being a serial killer. But what defines serial? More than 1? 100? I'm not sure. But then I'm also pro-life. And with pro-life, I'm saying, no abortion, no killing innocent children. They haven't been able to live yet. And I'm not going to say I'm going to disagree with it. I think I'm pro-life down to the bone. I don't think abortion should be legal. Personally, if I would vote for it, I would say heck to the no. I don't agree with abortion. I don't agree with anything it stands for. But I could see how you could be pro pro-choice, I guess. Alan, do you see anything wrong with executions of first-degree murder, second-degree? What do you think is the limit of cruel and unusual?
I don't really understand the point of someone saying something is cruel and unusual, because if someone plans out to kill someone, they meant it, they did it, it's done, you should go bye-bye.
Right, but it could be cruel and unusual if you kill someone, let's say, for running a stop sign.
Well, that's different because... Wait, are you talking about you're the one that ran the stop sign?
It doesn't matter who it is.
They did.
It doesn't matter who it is, because you're putting other people's life in stake, possibly. You could possibly kill someone, so you're going to run a stop sign, and we're going to kill you for it. There is a line somewhere. Where is that line? Do you think stop sign running? Do you think killing a person? Do you think killing multiple people? How many people? What in your world, in your government, Alan's government, would an execution be allowed?
I think ideally, if someone tried to kill someone, like for example the stop sign, that's accidental. I could see that where that would be one where that would not come into play.
Okay.
But if someone knew, like if there was any sliver of knowing that they were going to try to do that day, even if it's someone they didn't know, they got the wrong person, they just didn't care. They're like, hey, we're just going to go do this.
So if it's predetermined, if they go out, let's say, okay, so let's say you're at a bar. I know you don't drink, but let's say you go out to a bar and some guy, I don't know, punches your girlfriend. And you punch him, walk out, go to your car, get your, I don't know, your shotgun, go back and shoot him. Do you think, because it's predetermined, you walked out, you determined that you are going to kill him, should that be execution worthy? Because it's predetermined.
I'm going to say no, because that was self-defense on you and defending her, because you felt like your lives were in danger.
Yeah, but I don't agree with that. I don't think it would have been self-defense. I think you could have self-defense by just walking out with your girlfriend and, I don't know, calling the cops. There's so many ways out of it. I don't agree with self-defense. And I'm a huge gun supporter. Don't get me wrong. I don't own any guns, but if I had to go throughout my house, I could find a couple. A couple of pistols, a couple shotguns, a couple of hunting rifles, you know, those things. But what's the difference between... Well, let me ask you this. What's the difference between pro-life and pro-execution? It's taking a life, is it not? That's what we're trying to say, because...
Well, the difference is the baby never did a thing wrong in its entire existence.
Right. But...
The person that killed someone, they made that choice.
Okay, I can see that.
And we need others to learn that they should not do that.
Now, do you think that person, or that the person, do you think that is a person that killed someone else? Do you think they're a person, or do you think it's something different? Do you think they're a special type of person? Because I know that pro-choice people, they say that it's not a person, it's a collection of cells.
Oh, no. You will always and always have been, always will be a person till you are a speck of bones.
Right.
And then you will be a person that once lived.
Okay, so... Okay, now I'm understanding.
And is up in the clouds with God.
Well, you can't say that. You can't say God.
Oops. Oops. Oops.
But I do get what you're saying. But for me, it's kind of different because I'm for life. I'm for, I don't think that we should have to take someone's life. I don't think we should really get that I'm not going to say privilege, but I don't think we should get that right. I think it's God's right to take people out of this world, no matter, for whatever reason. But it should be God, not us. But I'm also for execution. I'm not sure. Now, do you think, what would be the ideal execution or way of execution? Do you think the electrical chair? Do you think lethal injection? Because in Ohio, in the state of Ohio, there has been a new lethal injection that didn't work so well.
What happened?
So I'm not sure exactly with all of the background information, but a guy, he was on death row in the state of Ohio for a really long time. I believe it was for murder, and they gave him a new drug. I think it says on Fox News, shortage of lethal drugs. So I think that they had to get a new drug, or maybe they were testing out a new drug, and it lasted like over 20 minutes, almost half an hour. This guy was struggling for his life, and then it finally died. And I think that example is cruel and unusual. And the family is suing Ohio. I'm not sure if that's the best option. I'm not sure if they should do that. But I do kind of understand it was kind of cruel and unusual. I think that they shouldn't have used this new drug. And if they did, they should have tried it somewhere else. I'm not sure.
Well, how about this? What if the family of the person that guy killed asked that family, was it cruel and unusual for our son or daughter, brother or sister, niece or nephew, husband or wife, to have died? Right. Is that cruel and unusual? Because I'm pretty sure they might be guilted into saying yes. Because say you have a son. Okay. And he gets shot because some guy decides he doesn't like him. But the family of the guy that shot your kid thinks that he should not be put to death. That's kind of cruel and unusual towards you. You want justice, don't you? You want something done. You don't want him to just go frolic through the flowers of happiness in life.
But wouldn't
even if that's just in his brain.
Wouldn't jail just be even better? Because it's, according to statistics, according to what people say that have had a murder executed, they say it didn't fill them back up. It didn't make it better.
But would you rather have that other guy have something in his little jail cell, or would you want him to feel the same pain that you had to feel when your son had to die?
So we should kill his kid.
Him want to know. No, well, his kid didn't do anything wrong. He's the guy that did something wrong.
Yeah, but if you want to have the same pain that he had, like let's say, again, it's my son, and according to what you just said, I should have the right to feel the same amount of pain as he did. Or sorry, he should have the same amount of pain that I did. So should we kill his family members? Wouldn't that be more even?
That guy didn't do anything wrong. It should be the guy that killed the guy.
But he won't feel anything. He'll just die. It'll be his family that feels the pain that you feel.
But it would also be the people, they would also learn, and everyone around them would know, that if someone in our town, country, civilization kills anyone, they will die, and they will learn that by watching and knowing about that, no one else should kill anybody, or they're going to die too.
So deterrence. You want this as a deterrent.
A what?
A deterrent is something that... It's a punishment for something that you've done, and it's supposed to deter or how do I say it exactly? A deterrence. Let's say I run a stop sign and I get a ticket. That's a deterrent, so that you don't run stop signs.
Oh yeah. Like they have.
So there should be a deterrent to everyone else
with that.
That hey, this guy killed someone, so he died.
Yeah.
Okay. But do you think that they should have used this new drug? Do you think it was cruel and unusual that he had to wait 20, 25, 30 minutes? Or do you think it's his freaking, he should have done this. It's his fault.
Oh, I don't think that's cruel and unusual punishment. No. He knew what he was doing. You have to wait an hour. That's one more hour you get to live.
I'm not sure I agree with you. I don't know.
What do you think?
I think it was kind of cruel. I'm not sure exactly what the background is. Let's assume that he knew what he was doing. I can kind of see, yeah, it's kind of right for him to have suffered. But really, the best suffering would be to want people to die, not to actually have them die. So I think for these cases, I think for murder cases where they're proven guilty by a court, not just, hey, he killed he killed my son, kill him. I think through a court of law, they should have to spend the rest of their lives in solitary confinement with 24 hours surveillance by guards so that they don't try to kill themselves.
Okay, say you...
But I don't think we should necessarily kill them, except for in extreme cases like the freaking Boston bombers. I think that we should have not killed them until we got the information from them, but literally made their lives hell.
Okay, back with the solitary confinement idea. Say that's the same guy that killed your son.
Okay.
Hypothetically. Because I would never really wish that on anyone. That would be horrible.
Right.
Say you are asked to fund this. Would you want to fund this program, or for a cheaper option, he could just die?
Okay, but it's not cheaper to kill someone.
But say for example, if it's the same, if it's either the same amount or cheaper for them to just die, and this one costs, and the solitary confinement idea either costs the same or more.
So if it was cheaper to kill them, would I want it? Okay, well, personally, I think that we should be able to choose what we spend our tax money on. Not necessarily like my money's going to this. I think it should be like, hey, my school is doing really well. I want to put extra money into that, but we still have to pay a certain percentage. I would not put a single penny into the jail system if someone like that was there. I would else time, but that's also why it wouldn't work, because then no one would fund things and it would just look bad. But that is all the time we have for the first edition, episode 1. The hype is real. Real. So tell us what you think about the show. Suggestions, whatever. Tweet us, myself at the JHP and Alan at PizzaMan721. Maybe one day we'll explain what PizzaMan721 means. Maybe not. But not today. Not today. We won't. But that is all for us. I hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time, may God bless and God save this great nation.
USA.
Yeah.